So clause 1, these 13 clauses in the Act as enacted, we're going to look at clauses 1 to 12 now, because that's the meat and bones of the legislation, and this is what significantly amends the existing legislation. So the clause 1 essentially changes the meaning of threatened with homelessness. Currently, we all understand that a person or a household will be classed as threatened with homelessness if we think that they're threatened with homelessness within a period of 28 days. What the Homelessness Reduction Act does is essentially double that time from 28 days to 56 days. The intention of that is that local authorities will be placed under a duty to intervene at a much earlier stage, with the hope that because we're intervening earlier, we're trying to do prevention at an earlier stage, is more opportunity to achieve a successful prevention outcome. The Act also makes some provisions with regarding those households and individuals who are homeless from the private rented sector or threatened with homelessness from the private rented sector. And it tells us that if a person is in receipt of a valid Section 21 notice, and the notice will expire within a 56-day period, as long as they're in receipt of that valid notice, they'll be classed as threatened with homelessness. And again, as we'll look at, the local authority will be placed under a duty to take action, take some steps to prevent that homelessness from occurring.
So Sean's basically going to be summarising legislation, and I'm going to be giving you some ideas about what you need to do. Hopefully you're already doing a lot of this. So what do you need to do there? It's obviously adapting your services to make sure that you're going to be able to respond at an earlier stage. But the test is still the same for when you take a homeless application. Is the person applying for accommodation or assistance in obtaining accommodation? And do you have a reason to believe that they're homeless or threatened with homelessness? It's just that you're looking at threatened with homelessness within 56 days and not 28. And if those two questions are yes, that is when an application under Part 7 of the Act has been triggered. And that threshold for reason to believe doesn't change. It's still quite a low threshold. So it is about making sure that you are able to respond at an earlier stage.